Okay, welcome back. My guest is Dayo Bush Alebioshu, former member of the House of Representatives, goes back to the 6th and 7th National Assembly. This goes back to 2007. While we were on break, Mr. Ajayi called in from Mowe. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you very much for allowing me to talk with you. I'm listening to what is happening. I just want, as the president reacted to the issue of DSS and the EFCC, I want him to react immediately and seal up all the filling stations that are contravening the laws of the land. Let them forfeit the filling stations to the federal government. They can't be exploiting us like this. That is my own contribution. Please, let the president seal up the filling stations.
All right.
As long as the filling now was bought with subsidized money. So they cannot be exploiting us.
Exactly.
We are the enemies of ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajayi. We can't, on occasion, be our own worst enemies, seems to be what Mr. Ajayi is saying. And rightly so, as a matter of fact. But you mentioned in passing a crucial agency, in my opinion, talking about the National Orientation Agency and the role it has and the part it is supposed to play in, the success of an administration through working with the orientation of the citizenry. They have been heavily criticized in the past. Colleagues across the media in different stations, different radio stations, different TV stations, have always been saying, what is the National Orientation Agency doing? How come we don't understand our part in all of this? Has it been a fair criticism?
Let's put it this way. There's a saying that goes, if your brand is unknown, it's a marketing problem. If your brand is known and not chosen, it's a branding problem. Through past administrations, the Nigerian Orientation Agency has been an appendage of the Ministry of Information. And there's enough for the Ministry of Information to do, which is more like marketing. The Nigerian Orientation Agency their functions is more like PR. You can't touch it, you just feel it happen. I would love to see a situation where it's pulled out from under the Ministry of Information and established on its own, where, you go on the airplane and a British, American, Canadian soldier comes in, people are clapping because of the way it's being programmed, the amount of PR.
The way they are seen.
That's right.
The respect that citizens
have
for their servicemen.
Absolutely. And it's based on their version of the Nigerian orientation. It's huge. Their functions are huge. They have to work with the movie industries. They have to work with the military. They have to work with the Nigerian. For you must desire. You see a lot of people who have the desire to join the Nigerian police. The police, the military.
The military.
That's how it's being branded abroad or elsewhere.
Oh, you mean, okay, yes.
Yes,
well.
But here, it's as
because people are, sorry to interrupt you, just on what you are saying about, servicemen, foreign countries coming aboard a plane and people showing their appreciation and respect. People are even thanking them for their service.
Absolutely.
People are actually using the sentence, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Because of the uniform.
Absolutely.
Now, you think this is the equivalent of their own national orientation?
They're the ones who are...
The works that they have been doing.
They're the ones who are saddled with the responsibility of doing that.
Of shaping perceptions.
Perceptions, absolutely. And for as long as... we would see that change should it be pulled out completely and they're allowed to function, pulled out of from under the shadows of the Ministry of Information. We would see, I've always felt that would be the case.
Well, we'll come back to that if there's more to be said. Mr. Oladimeji in Ikorodu, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead,
Good morning,
please.
Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay, my name is Oladimeji from Ikorodu.
Sure.
Yes, my contribution is like this. I think the president has made a very, very smart move, by making that decision right now, right? And it looks like it's paying off for him. Although we know that the subsidy regime is supposed to end by June 30th, right? If I were in his shoes, I will even stop it now. As in, that amount that we were supposed to use for the whole of June should be spent on something, other things that are meaningful for the country, right? So I think he has made a smart move by making sure he did it now, right? And so that whatever hardship anybody will face, let them face it and enjoy later.
All right.
And already people are already even printing it. People are already even rising up to the occasion. State governors are already saying, okay, lock up filling stations that are selling beyond pump price. And
Exactly.
all of that. So I think it's a very smart move by the president. It's a very smart move.
Indeed.
Kudos to him. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Oladimeji. If there's one thing that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has, it is courage. That's what people around him have said.
That's leadership.
That is leadership.
That is leadership.
People have always spoken about the courage of the man. Even people who are not politicians, staying on the outside, have seen indications of that. In other words, they've seen moves that he has made that they would have never have made, and they would not have advised anybody to make. But we've seen Tinubu, going there very, very much like in the Yoruba people, they say, Omo Akin that he is. And that's why people are, Mr. Oladimeji was just saying that he did it at the right time. From the very beginning, let's get down to business. We're not playing around here.
That's right. Well, there's what you call leadership and decision making. It's something I have seen him do time and time again. You shouldn't be bothered about popularity. What you do is you focus. Your decisions are usually geared towards a goal. You know what your goal is, you know what decision is required, and you take those decisions. And for everybody, or those who have worked with and around him, you would see them exhibit those things, because it's kind of rubbed off on them. As it is right now, he's doing his thing. You can see focus.
He has started the job.
Absolutely.
While everybody else seems to be getting geared up for it, it appears that he has actually started, even from the stadium, from the Eagle Square.
That's right.
That was quite defining.
That's right.
It's like people were waiting to hear what he would say on that. And when he came there, he said, it's gone.
That's right. Not just that. That's not the only thing. That's just what we're talking about right now. He sent a message, a loud message to the whole world saying, listen, we're going to cut. How come nobody's talking about the two-tier foreign exchange rates? Saying, no, we're not going to do that. How come they're also not holding money right now, foreign exchange? Since he said that as well. How come nobody's doing that? Why aren't people taking their monies out of the bank? Because he also said, we have to reduce exchange rates. Why aren't people doing that? So it's intentional. The same thing he said in that area is what he also said as regards the subsidy. So if people are doing this, it's simple, it's straightforward. Let the state governors, regardless of what party, you don't have to like the president. All you just need to do is do what you need to do for the sake of the country and for the people of the country. The governors, the president, have all been elected to make life easier and better. Nigerians have survived. Now they want to live.
They want to live a bit.
Let
me bring on Mike in Ikeja. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Congrats to everybody. Mr. Bush, congrats.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Mike.
Congratulating Nigerians.
Fantastic. The president has started on a very fantastic note. Whichever people looks at it, it's what we must deal with now. I'm begging him. Let him keep discussing with whoever the stakeholders are, marketers or whoever. Please, he must not go back. Hence, we are just postponing the evil day. Now we are talking of all this or that, and NSC is talking. I don't think they have the moral right to talk, because all the stars in NSC and all these so-called that have put us in this situation are NSC members. All the turnaround maintenance and everything, they are NSC members. NSC should go back and clean, just like the president said, house cleaning. Let them go and clean themselves before they come to the public. That's number one. Mine is, I always believe it has been done, is redone. What is next? Number one, we have Bovas, which is a filling station that is trustworthy. Can the government also break the NNPC? It's a limited company now. Break the monopoly. Let Bovas come in and trust it once. Let them start importing fuel with strict monitoring by the DPR. DPR is supposed to monitor petroleum issues. So let DPR start monitoring. That's number one. Number two, we have pension contributed by people. The government can put it in CBN and start giving a sort of relief to those interested marketers at a single interest rate. You understand? Between now and December, so that to cushion out, to relieve whatever issues they have. That's one. Number two, you can also say government does not really want to be involved in all these things, but the banks, discuss with them. Can you give them some loans at a very reasonable interest rate? And at the same time, we move on. You see, we've started. We don't want a president that will go forward and back. No, we have to move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in. And in this connection, well, investors, one of the papers this morning is reporting, its lead headline is that investors react positively as Tinubu meets Emefiele, Kyari, that's Kyari of NNPC, and Labour over petrol subsidy. Mm-hmm. This is, I mean, it's like we were speaking earlier about being able to depend on Tinubu to do the needful. Mm-hmm. Instantly, he's moved, and I'm sure we'll get some joy out of it, because, you see, once we can be sincere with, I think that's another thing that Nigerians have been contended with, insincerity. Once we trust we don't have a president who is going to go down that route, you sort of wait the outcome. So he's meeting with these guys, Emefiele, Kyari of NNPC, and Labour, who has been threatening fire and brimstone. He's meeting with all of them. Okay, guys, sit down, let's talk. Let's talk. And that's the way it should be.
To be honest with you, it might seem a bit pedestrian as regards Labour. I hope I'm forgiven for this, but I would still express my thoughts. It was discovered, we're dealing with societal issues. It was discovered that a fruit called soursop has a very strong effect on cancer. Treating cancer is a very expensive treatment. Soursop grows freely. The moment it was discovered that it works for diabetes, high blood pressure, and a few other things, boom. Soursop moved out of reach of the poor. Even the local agbo that used to sell for 1,500, 2,000, they now charge as much as 20,000, 25,000. The question is, if you will charge that much, and the reason the person who has come to you in the first place is because they're unable to afford the same 25,000 the hospitals will charge, nothing has happened. Now we're saying, Ashiwaju saying, he can't leave subsidy and talk about just fixing interest rates. But he put everything together, and from the speech you'd see that it's been well thought of, which sometimes you have to source for funding from outside of the nation. Now, when the exchange rate keeps fluctuating, what happens? You're not sure. There's no security. You're not sure, oh, I bought at 800 naira to the dollar. And when it comes to payment, it probably would have gone to 2,000 to the dollar. Is it going to be worth it? The answer is no. And he's saying we need to fix it. And what is causing it? Some get, I'm just going into that area now. Uncle Yori, you decide to import certain things, items, and you approach the banks, and they say, well, it falls within some of the things we're looking at bringing in. Then they sell to you the pound at, say, 500 to a pound. I also trade. I have a source of livelihood as well, where I approach the bank and they say, oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't fall within that bracket. But if you bring the funds we would transfer it for you. I now go to buy the same pound that you bought at 500 for 950. I bring my things in. You now even get some tax exemptions and tax reliefs, which I don't. But when we bring in and we sell or we produce, we're taxed equally. Or I'm even taxed more than you. And he's seen this and he's saying, where is the fairness? It has to be fair.
Indeed. So these are things that he's going to do. Engineer Godwin in Port Harcourt, good morning to you, sir, and thank you for holding on.
Good morning, my brother. Please,
good morning, sir.
I just want to make a contribution. Are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you. Engineer Godwin, we can hear you.
Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, sir. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Please, I'm calling from Port Harcourt, okay? Thank you. So what I want to say, yeah, I can hear you too. Okay. All right. My contribution is this. I want to say thank God for us to have President Tinubu today as the President of Nigeria. Okay. I can hear you too. Yeah, I said I thank God for us to have Bola Ahmed Tinubu today as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So what we are saying now about what these marketers are doing, these filling stations, is something that is not it's uncalled for, because this fuel that they are hoarding and selling to us right now at a high price is already been subsidized. Okay? And by the grace of God, I will want them to put a policy that all these people that are selling fuel along the street, there should be nothing like that again in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, you already put a stop to these people that are hoarding fuel. Okay, so this is just my little contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for it, Engineer Godwin from Port Harcourt. And related to what you were saying last, it's about undoing some naughty kind of issues, problems. Remember, Ashwaju has spoken about his displeasure with undergraduates being admitted, to school. It's normally supposed to be a 4-year course, but they never know, they never can tell with the way the school administrations have been. They never can tell if they're going to graduate in 4, 5, 6, 7, or even 8 years from now. Tinubu has said that none of that. He said that before assuming office, and I'm sure this is something he's going to work on. And of course, there are implications to that. You can't just say it with mouth, as our people say. There are going to be approaches that is going to be, to everybody's advantage, everybody's benefit. There will be a mutual satisfaction, because I think it's going to go there, whatever it is. It's going to go there. It never used to be like this.
See, we have over time talked about the declining nature of the educational sector. And if you remember, you cannot separate it from the foreign exchange rates. When our exchange rate was strong, we had people, teachers coming from Ghana. We had Lebanese teachers, we had British teachers, we had French, we had all sorts of people.
We had all of them.
And then, because our exchange rate was worth them coming here. Now, how do we now talk? Any nation, if you look at the UAE, you look at the United Kingdom, the United States, you will never go to any hospital, for example, and see that they are predominantly Americans, or they're predominantly British, or they're predominantly Germans. You would see a mix of the world, because it means they would have brought in the best of brains to perform a certain function. Now, for us to move from where we are to where we want to be, it means we have to fix a few things that will attract the brains that we require. When we look and we're quick to say, oh, this Nigerian professor is doing very well in America. This Nigerian teacher is doing well there. So why do we frown upon having a situation where we can also have the best brains come here? And to fix that, some of the things that Shiwaju had mentioned that he would do would be very important. He's, like I said earlier, he's not somebody who aims, who shoots and hopes. He aims before he fires. That way he gets his target.
Okay.
And that's why he's been so accomplished.
Let me see if I can squeeze in. This call is coming from the UK. Cash, I believe it is. Good morning, Cash.
Yes. Good morning.
Okay, thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Firstly, I would like to thank our new president, President Tinubu, regarding the way he has already intervened with DSS and EFCC. He said that he's a father for the nation. You see, something happened in Lagos, and it's in Abuja, and he has to intervene. It shows that he keeps to his promise that he's the president for all states, unlike our previous.
Let's not. We're talking about this administration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying that you're happy that he has reacted the way he has reacted. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Cash. Appreciate your call. In fact, we have just about used up a whole lot. When we get talking about interesting subjects like this, time flies, doesn't it?
Yes.
So I want to thank you very much, Honorable Dayo Bushale-Bioshu, for coming along this morning. And but I really would like you to come again. I'm sure we can arrange that.
I'd be more than happy.
Talk a bit more about it.
It's always a pleasure being on your program.
Indeed. Thank you very much. So that's it. Our guest today has been Honorable Dayo Bushale-Bioshu, former member of the House of Representatives, going back to the 6th and 7th. His 2 terms were started from 2007. Once more, thank you for making time for us.
Having me.